night, Friday night, KitBash. Friday night, KitBash. Friday night, KitBash. Yo, it's Friday night, UFC. Friday night, UFC, and the Big Wookie. Friday night, KitBash. Hey everybody, it's me, Web C, and welcome to Friday Night Kit Bash. And tonight we're talking about a Kit Bash. Huh, go figure. The name kind of gave it away, right? No. Anyways, so tonight's Kit Bash is Shining Gundam Cross Death Scythe. These are HG models that I put together and modified to look kind of cool. I gave the scythe a major upgrade. I gave it a whole bunch of thrusters so that it can swing faster. Then I powered up the shoulders with a whole bunch of tubing that I cut out from a plasma beam effect runner. I took the runner itself and I cut it into small sections, and then I have a bender that bends it, and I bent it to the shape I wanted, and then I installed it. So each one of those up here are beam effects. So now when he runs at you, and even if he misses with a weapon, if he shoulder bashes you, that's a beam effect that's going to hit you. Same thing back here. His back is protected with beam effects going straight into the backpack mount. So, and then I was also thinking about finding some more beam effects of the same color and maybe putting some more in different places. Is it possible to find the same beam effect colors? Yes, it is. Along with a plethora of other colors. If I don't like this color after a while, I could switch it up to a bright green like Death Scythe, or um, I could switch it to a green that matches the hand that's missing right now. I do have the hand. It's a bright green hand, shining fingers. So that'll be doable. It's still fully posable. Everything still moves. Nothing's like forever locked in place. These vent shoulders still open and close. They do their whole gimmick. Another gimmick that I added is a larger thruster to the backpack. So now that it's filled out, when the other section of the backpack is connected, it left some things to be desired. I'll show you. Um, Here's the other backpack, or the rest of the backpack, and it mounts just like this, right? So it goes in like this right here. So it goes in like that. Well, before, do you see where the big rocket is? Before, there was a lot of open space right there. It left a lot to be desired. Like, why is it so open right there? Now, having this big rocket kind of goes, oh, you need clearance so you don't blow up your core lander. That makes total sense now. Now it looks like it should, and it has a more sensible thing. The core lander has a transformation now that I built into it from leftover parts from the Gundam Death Scythe. When it is in flight mode, it folds these two things back to become stabilizers, and then the the claw, I guess, of the Death Scythe shields opens up to become more, what do you call them, like resistors to help with trim when you're flying, and you need to like, if you pull one side in just a little bit, it'll fly faster that way or whatever. Yeah, so that's what those do, and then these go up and down to make them go, you know. So that's what those are supposed to help with, and then yeah, and it connects up real nice and easy. Everything like folds up in a way, also really super fast. And I built everything into the core lander, or whatever you want to call it. I think that's called the core lander. I believe it's core lander. You tell me, what is it called? Next we doubled the leg. So one part of the leg is from one robot, the other part of the leg is from another robot, and they kind of went into each other just fine. They worked out okay that way. Then we took the rest of the leg from Death Scythe, and we got down to here, and we took the foot and the shin guard from the Shining Gundam, and we flipped the shin guard back. We inserted it all together, and then now there's a an Achilles tendon guard, if you will, like so. You know, I don't know. I thought that was pretty cool. That's a pretty cool look to have that guard back there too. It's still mobile. Can still get you different poses with that. Same with this one. This guard up front can still get you different poses. And then it looks like it's more solid. I feel like it's cohesive. Um, Next on the build, we'll get rid of that, is we stuck with a normal Death Scythe body. I didn't think we needed to do too much or anything really to that. And then over here for this hand that holds the staff, we took the forearm of the Death Scythe Gundam and we transferred it as a gauntlet for the hand. So that's what we did to change that up, and we rubber cement, or we didn't rubber cement, but we used super thin cement, and we melted and like bonded them to the two pieces together really well. So now instead of it being uh, a separate hand and hand guard, now the hand gauntlet guard is much bigger and it doesn't come off anymore. So we will sand it all down and sand all the excess chemical away, because there's a little bit of excess chemical that came out on the front right there. But that happens, when you're customizing and stuff. You got to make sure you use enough glue so that you don't have to go back and re-glue. I don't really do the baking soda trick. Not that I don't like it or anything. It's just I've never done it. So I'll look into using that trick more often than not later on when I find more need for it. But for simple things like that, sometimes you just need to melt the two plastics and squeeze them together real tight, and that's where you get a good bond and seal. And then I think we're going to stick with the Death Scythe head for the build as well. I don't think we're going to use the Shining Gundam's head. I didn't really like Shining Gundam's head, so I think the Death Scythe's head and body kind of really do fit. Now with the shoulders, one thing that was really tough and hard for me to do, and here I'll remove the arm and we'll just talk about this area for now. And so as you can see, all I did was just drill holes and it just rests. But for this now, that's a whole nother story, right? What we got to talk about there. Like, I cut and I took a saw. I have a micro saw, and I cut. I made the lines. I traced the lines of this red piece on the shoulder pad of the Death Scythe Gundam, and then what I did was I cut where I wanted parts off, and then I glued these pieces in place where I wanted them to be re-glued. So all I have to do now is just sand this whole section down. But to show you, like, I can pull it, I can break it down to that, but there's a whole bunch going on in here still. Like, the all that's still going on in there, so it still has that mechanism from the Death Scythe, but it's just added on to the Shining Gundam. And then, like I said, the Shining Gundam, if we just make sure it's in the right position, this piece is supposed to still close on the Shining Gundam. Come on. It's not grit. It's just a finicky piece of plastic. So there we go. Then, and that can still close up and still be like that too. So I had it open on display. I like it open. Open looks neat. And then, yeah, so I just combined as many pieces and parts as I could from both of the Gundams to get the best look for some of the sections. And I feel like that was a good choice. So we'll sand and uh, I'll custom paint that piece in there, and then we'll try and do some seam line removal on this piece because it's got some work that could be done there. Same on this side, so we'll work on that. And then and then the reason why I can do that is because it's got an interior uh, a part right there. So I can take this apart like this, and then I can just do the seam line removal trick with the super thin cement by melting the two sides and squishing it together. And then what I recommend to use is these. These create just enough force to squish things together. This is how I do it. And you don't have to worry about anything because you're going to sand everything afterwards, right? So you just let it go. Just put it in there and you squish it, or you put it like this and you squish it. Make sure it's, under the most point power of pressure so that it creates that little weld line all the way around to the plastic so that when you sand it, it'll be a full weld all the way around. I'll work on that myself. Um, so as I tell you, it's also me reminding myself, hey, dummy, do this. Okay, let's go then. So yeah, so then we can do that. Let's go then. Get them parts together. Yeah, genau. Look at that. We're all together. See? So back together that all goes, and that's that. And it's the same on both sides. The arms, they're the same on both sides. I put it. I really, I did all the measuring, so the cuts and everything. It still works over here too. That other thruster can pop out, and same thing with this. This can still close up. It's all cut the same, and then still has flexibility. With the legs being two different legs, it's kind of finicky right there. Uh, Other than that, though, it's okay. And these don't really, I don't think they're supposed to move, but they wobble a little bit. Not a fan of that, but is what it is. And then I put like a little metal twist tie piece on here to make it look like a ribbon floating in the wind, but there's no wind. So it's just a ribbon floating. And haven't done anything else for customizing. Haven't thought much about it. I think where I'm at that point where I feel like I really want to just start breaking it down to sand it and get it all ready to go for paint. Make all the parts look nice. Do some fine-tuned sanding. Some fine-tooth sanding or fine-tune. What you think? I'm pretty sure I could do some pretty awesome stop motions with this guy. He would probably make some pretty awesome stop motions. All right, and to hook up the piece like this right here, just to hook it up, you just there, it hooks up. So that's what it's supposed to do. It's supposed to look like that. Then, yeah. So they are a little limiting, but it's okay. We can still do the important pose. That's this one. And then he's got shining fingers. Shining fingers! They'll scream it at you too. All right, we're 15 minutes into the episode. 15 minutes into the episode. Time to talk to you about our sponsors. Head on over to ClarksvilleHobbyDepot.com and use this super awesome code G_Syndicate10 to where you can get 10% off any purchase $25 or more. I believe it's a one-time code, but Scott's always doing other kind of deals. Right now, even without the G Syndicate code, he still has a 15% off sale going on. So if you head on over there to Clarksville Hobby Depot, get you some really awesome stuff. He's got supplies from dioramas to RC cars. So head on over there and check out ClarksvilleHobbyDepot.com. And they're great. Then we're gonna just jump right back into this guy. We'll showcase the other robot that's on the screen in just a minute. And then I see, I got it on display back here, the bins and everything. We'll talk about that too in just a bit. But so with the breakdown of this, what I think we'll do is I'm going to take some pictures and turn this into like a line art drawing with one of my programs on my phone. And then once I turn it into a line art drawing, I'm going to come up with a color scheme for this guy. Now I was thinking lots of gold is one option because, well, I got to put gold in here anyways. So I was also thinking about finding another few areas where some gold would look cool peeking through or something. And I think back here, these things would look cool if they were gold. If this piece and this piece on the plate were gold. Then I'm thinking a dark gray, not a black, but like a dark gray or a dark gray blue, something like that for the dark color. And then for the reds, I don't know about the reds yet. What I would change the reds to, or if I would maybe just make them metallic. It's always options for that. Always options. Always check. Always look at those options. So hey, if you're just stopping in, it's Friday Night KitBash, and we are building and looking at this really sweet Shining Death KitBash. I've worked really hard on this KitBash, and it is to the point to where we're at the break it down and sand it up stage. So, in which case, this is a great time for you to see all the other things that I've done to it detail-wise moving forward. So we'll start with the foot. So here's the regular leg from Death Scythe, and it's got a polycap in there, and then that polycap leads to an ankle piece. So we'll disassemble that. Now that ankle piece pops out. Oh, the whole foot came apart. We don't want that. Just want the ankle piece. All right. So the ankle piece pops out and then doesn't interfere. And then Shining Gundam's foot looks like that. So like I said, all I did was I moved that piece back so that when you put this ankle in, that fit in there real nice and snug. Now you have a back ankle guard. And that's what I did with that. Then I just angled those up as high as I could put them. Which, yes, they all need to be sanded. All the parts still need to be sanded. And then, so that's what I did with that. So here we are. Pull the ankle. Oh, that just comes right off, right? Right. So pull the ankle out. That'll be one part on its own. Same with this and this. These two will be their own parts. And then these just go on pegs. Then we have this down here. Um, so foot separates, which is nice. All right. So that was the whole foot. Just one side, all the parts that I added together to create one foot for this build. All right. Next is the leg. So the leg, we're going to break it down. I think what we'll do for the leg is separate it here. So I want to be able to paint as much of it as possible. That big seam line right there. All right. So huh, okay, there we go. We're gonna break it all down to that. So what I'm gonna do in here is while I'm sanding and stuff, I'll take this apart first. I'll remove this piece and then I will make a latch system, I think, that will allow this piece to pop in and out, but it'll still keep it on that hinge so it can still do that special operation, whatever that's for. So we'll look into that. All right. So that's one leg. You're gonna grab a box from the front of this heavy arms kit for this. So once we get all the parts, we're just gonna throw them all in a box. So that's all we're doing. Is taking this guy apart now. Next, sadly, we cannot take this apart. This is just gonna have to get what I call the special treatment. So we will do what we can with it, but it does not come apart. So I will probably spray it all one color, probably black, hit it, tape certain sections off, hit it with a chrome or a silver, and then I'll paint some of it to match the rest of the kit color, whatever I'm in kit color. And then I'll probably do like a glow or something. But yeah, so that won't be too many different problems to it. Alright, so now the arm. Let's take the whole arm apart in the order we want it. And so, along with all that other stuff, like I said before, I glued all this together. So this is all one unit that has to get sanded and painted multiple colors. So this will not come apart again. This is it. It's its final stage. So anything I want done to this kit or anything I want it to look like, I gotta sand it and alter it now. Don't get to go back later and make changes. So this will be where I'll do a seam line removal on these pieces as well. And then I will I've never done it, but I've heard of people doing seam line removal on like this piece right here, like gluing that together and puttying it up and stuff. So maybe we'll see, bulk it up just a little bit to save it from itself. All right, so that's how the arm breaks down. And look, we have half a gundam. All right. So next we'll separate the torso. Hey, that came out right. Okay. So nothing special here. Oh yeah, I forgot to show you the skirt actually flips open some, which is nice. So nothing special with the skirt. We're just gonna go ahead and start removing. This piece, and this piece, front skirt. All right. The rear skirt is on a polycap. And so the side skirt pieces, we're gonna leave this and this, maybe this piece right here. So let's leave it like that. So we'll do seam removal on these parts. They got some seams right there in the middle. That's weird. They could have went along this line and hit it within this section here, but they went and just cut it in half this way instead. Not complaining. I'm just telling you what they did. Okay. I'm still going to fix the seam line. Well, there's no complaint. That's just what shiny looks like. All right. Once again, the leg comes apart like that. This piece pops off. Ankle pops off. That folds down, comes off. That's a piece. This comes off. This comes off. This slides off. This falls down. Leg. That comes off. That comes off. And these two are going to come out. I also added lock pieces in these hollow sections right here. I think it looks nicer like that. Those are 3D printed. I ordered a little like grommets kit or whatever, like a little, just like a kit with a bunch of different sizes of those. Uh, and I didn't know at the time when I ordered it that it was going to be 3D printed and stuff. So um, I wasn't upset or anything. I thought it was going to be more like gunpla plastic, and it's not. And it's a little more difficult to work with as a product. However, the end process is very nice. All right, other arm. So take that off. Take that off. That off. That. 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 All right, like I said, so seam removal on this guy. All right, here's on the torso. The backpack does still come off. I did not like super glue or do anything weird to the backpack. So then the beam effects, those will come out, and then rocket. So this is all one piece for the most part, besides these two parts. So this will all get painted and then taped and painted again. So I think we're just gonna paint the backpack black. I got some work to do right here with a hot knife, smoothing this plastic out right here. But yeah, we're gonna paint it all black, and then we will come back, tape off a lot of stuff, and we will paint like certain accent parts silver for that. All right, the head. All right, so for the head, I think what we'll do is we will spray everything white. I don't know, I'm not sure about it yet. Um, the V-fin is definitely getting painted, and I think, yeah, we'll probably spray the head white, and then do like some reverse shadowing or something, where we take a Q-tip and we put a little paint thinner on it, and we slowly rub against it until it creates like a backwards wash type of thing. It'll look really cool. And then we have this torso. So this is one of the nicest torsos I've seen. It has a really nice long stem for the ball joint that's in here. So that comes out. And then it's just a solid build. It's got nothing, no gimmicks to the rest of it up here. It's just one solid build. Feels like it's one piece. And you're putting it together. I was really impressed with this upper body here. Didn't look very complicated when I put it together, but it still shined really well. Boop, 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 boop. Come on. Okay, that can come out. How did this one go? Oh, oh yeah, it's gonna come out. All right. So it's not that complicated. We'll keep this piece together here, 'cause this can all stay one color. Then those don't have like a hole to push them back out with. So, well, we'll just have to do it the other way. What a... Hold on. Here we go. Too big. So you need to get that out. You just gotta, you can drill just a couple holes. It won't interfere with any of the mechanics of it. It's pretty deep recess. I'm just, patiently twisting the drill bit. It's pretty sharp, so just let the drill bit do the work. No need to rush to hurt yourself or the next person. Right, got the other one out. Yeah, nice stuff. All right, these will get painted the same color as the V fin, which will probably be a gold color. And there you have it. That is the end of the breakdown. Oh, I lied. Here we go. So this just comes off like that. Same with these. These just pop off. That comes out. It's a polycap. And then these, just wiggle them back and forth a little bit. You open up the spot. And these are just like polycaps too. And they just fit right there. Oh, and I cut a polycap to go here. That holds this. So the reason why this fits in nicely and doesn't go nowhere is because it touches that polycap just enough to cause it to grip it, and then it stays in place. See? So there's a polycap right there. I cut it down so it fit inside, but it was still right there on the outside of that circle, so it fit perfectly. So that's how we did that. I guess we'll break this down too. Now I'll have this on video so I can see it. Good piece comes off. It's left like that. You just pull that off. Last piece. Here we go. Those are all the parts. So yeah, we'll start sanding this throughout the week, and next week I'll probably be sanding on it some more. And then maybe the week after we'll get this guy going on some paint. Project in the books. Up next, let's talk about one of my first custom builds, full custom. I did a lot of work on this build, and it didn't turn out 100% the way I wanted it to, but it was due to lack of knowledge and experience. And let's talk about all that. So, this isn't technically a kit bash, it's more just a redesign of a kit. So I added some things, I changed a few things, and then I changed the paint job, as you can clearly see. So let's talk about some of the things I added. First thing I added was that right there. I changed that from a green orb to a arc reactor. If you can't already tell, yes, this is a Tony Stark or Iron Man design. Um, Next, what I added was down here, I added this whole circle thing. It did not exist before. And now, when you open that up, there's one on each side. Also, I had to do all that carving and everything. There's a whole bunch of work involved making it so that it opened and closed nicely, didn't rub together, all that stuff. And then the foot fit in just nicely, and it's also got like uh, a bend in there per se that adds to everything. The build is very fragile. Um, it's a it's the older high grade design of this Gundam, and then we did a lot of detail work on the head. So a lot of detail work in there. And Yeah, so next, for other custom bits, I think I put, there's a small one right here, little tiny, it's like a lock, and it's on both sides. And then, just trying to think, I drilled holes everywhere. These packs right here on the front skirts are actually extra. They did not have that originally, but I figured that they would look really nice like that, and they do. So I kept that like that. Did that. Oh yeah. So the insides are just flat color. So let's talk about the colors I used. This is a custom metallic red that I made with G Paint Dark Iron and G Paint Red. And it turned out to be like almost the exact red I needed for Iron Man. It turned out really good. Not too bright red, not too dark red. It's just got that nice glow to it. You know what I mean? And the gold strikes it well too. And the gold. Let's talk about that complicated beast. So, in order to achieve this gold, you have to have the entire all-clad system. Um, this gold was achieved by painting all these pieces chrome. And then after they were chromed, I took a candy yellow enamel and lightly glazed over it with the enamel and created the gold chrome effect. So that is how I achieved this gold effect, and it was painful. Let me tell you, it was so painful. And the reason why is because you go through this process, and some parts it works 100%, and then some parts it's just like utter failure. You feel like you're just the worst builder ever when you go through it. So I did my best, and tried to make sure every piece got attention and detail and stuff like that. It was really hard when it came to the gold because, well, it's such a I was worried about how finicky it would be and how easy it would scratch and stuff. So you do kind of have to be a little careful with the gold. However, the G paint, having the red for the G paint, gave a really nice primer primer layer for the gloss black and the chrome. So there is a bonus to that. If you're using G paint, it does work as a good primer layer for the all clad system. So there's one positive you can get with that. Other than that, um, yeah, it's just that's where the positives are in that. Well, let me take a step. So this is one of my first full super custom builds where I did a lot of extra work. What I did not do for work on this is there's no scribe work. I did not do any panel lining or scribing. I only used a little drill and created details and stuff. Other than that, I didn't feel compelled to do anything with a scribe pen or anything like that. I did. Oh wait, no, that's. I think I totally lied to you guys. Right here, these vents. I took and I carved around these vents. I think I did that, but that was just to, I think, accent them. I don't think it was to. It was on purpose to like do any scribe work. And then this shoulder pad. Let's talk about the mistakes I have. When I went to go and gloss coat this beautiful kit, I didn't know what I was gonna get myself. I didn't know I was getting myself into a whole bunch of trouble. So, the trouble I had with this kit was all the glosses and stuff that I found for the kit. They they like did this weird goo bubble thing. Like it just didn't react well. The paints did not react well to that top coat. However, now I actually have a top coat that I know works over this paint and seals it up real nice and everything. So we won't have any issues in the future. So this kit never got water slides. So that's where this kit sits. Um, one day, hopefully, we can change that. But that'll be down the road. So think about that. Woohoo! Yeah. So give you guys one more good look at Iron Man. Like you can see. So I top coated the foot and I top coated the shoulder here, and it kind of diminished the paint job a little bit. I wasn't happy. It was because the fumes had not settled off of the kit yet. They were still in the paint. Like the paint hadn't fully cured and dried fully. So it was my fault. It said let it harden for 18 hours. I listened to it. I actually went one day, one 24-hour period. So I didn't think it would have been a problem. I was wrong. I was very wrong. Anyways, so he's still fully posable. He still takes good pictures and he's still really detailed. I'm impressed with the kit. I have more coming for the Avengers series is coming. I have all the kits collected that I'm doing for the Avengers series. I just need to start building them. That's all I gotta do. So that will be that. And what am I actually working on right at the current moment? My current build. Let's get that out of the way. I am snap building one of the Endless Waltz Master Grades, the Gundam Heavy Arms. And let me tell you guys, woo, this belt back here, that is no joke. I went and knocked that out right away. I went to that and I said, "Yep, we're gonna knock you right out the ballpark, so ain't nobody swinging late because it is a doozy of a set of parts." I'll pull it out to show you. I have it done and assembled, and I had to sand every side of these. There was a really ugly line that went through each one of these. So I had to sand each one of those ugly lines off. And then the nubs or the nips were all on the edges, were all on the sides. So I had to sand all those flush. And you can still kind of see the nibs. I'm not happy about that either. But I was hoping that whatever paint I use on these will fix that. So those will hide a little better. But yeah, it goes together really nicely. Looks good. So I got that done. I was happy I did that. So these are all the parts that I have nipped out. These are all the parts that I still have to work on and do nipping on. And this is going to be a great kit. I'm pretty happy and excited about this kit. So let's look at the special page so we can see. The only one I am missing from this section, from these 5, I am missing the MG Death Scythe, the Endless Waltz Death Scythe. I have the Death Scythe custom, but I don't have this specific Death Scythe. This would be the Death Scythe Hell. And so I have the custom, the one with the bat wings. Now this one, he's supposed to have the wing, it's not really a wings, but it's a stealth cloak, and they open up like I just remember those trucks from back when we were kids. They were called monster trucks, and they would open up and they would have like a monster inside the truck, and then they would close and drive off. Well, anyways, that's kind of like what his armor is supposed to look like. But for the Heavy Arms Gundam, he's looking pretty awesome. So I'm excited to be working on this. I also decided that I am going to paint all the missile pods. I saw somebody do a really cool job on the missile pods where they like painted them orange and then did like an almost like an iridescent trick to them where they go from orange to red in a really nice way, and you can see it on the kit. So I'm gonna try that. That's something I'm gonna try is do something like that. I think that'll look really neat. Not sure. So, and then I gotta order some water decals for this kit. So eventually happen too. We'll get water decals. We will not be using these rub-ons and stuff that the kit comes with. I'm just not a fan of the rub-ons and or the scratch and sniffs as I call them. I don't like them because they're not 100% working. And then along with that, they give you scratch and sniffs and stickers. So it's like, I don't like half and half either. I like to do all of them, all water slides. So, and the product looks nicer if you do it that way as well. So we will. That's what we will be doing for this guy. He's just like I started him on the night of my birthday because my birthday was just a few nights ago. So I was like, yeah, let's start this. I want to play. I just wanted to do something different than what's on the list of things to do. So this is just going to be a snap build with water slides and top coat. That's all this is. Just like all the other ones from this series that I'm doing. I already have two of them. They're I have one of them that's fully finished. I'll go grab it and show you what it looks like once it's good and finished. Woohoo! Oh, yeah. All right, so this is what he's going to look like, or what they could look like when they're finished. This is, I have painted this whole kit iridescent, all of it. So it's all iridescent, um, which is awesome. I really like it. So, yep. Anyways, that's what this is going to do. That's what I'm going to do with this guy. But the iridescent color, I can change that. There's different iridescents that I can buy of this paint product. So this one I used a purple iridescent. I also have a green and a blue. And then I will go out and at some point in time when I'm ready to final the heavy arms, and I'll look for an orange or a I want to say like an orange or a red, like a light red or a bright orange iridescent to go on him because that would make everything look really cool. And so also what I'm planning on doing for heavy arms is I'm going to detail up his big machine gun a lot. I'm going to put a lot more detail into that gun. Part of it is heavy arms is one of my more favorite Gundams, so I'm probably going to give that one a little bit more of a treat than I usually do the other ones because I like heavy arms more. As for Sandrock, I like Sandrock. Sandrock looks awesome. Uh, I'm just not. I was never the biggest fan of this Gundam. I always felt like this one was like the plain Jane out of the group. He had cool weapons. They're still cool. They still look cool today. Uh, but as for compared to like Wing Zero and Epion and Heavy Arms, Sandrock is like, oh, he's side nature type deal. Really cool looking. I really do like him, but at the same time, he's not my favorite. So that's why he kind of got done early on for me to set the tempo and the pace and to see if I was gonna like what I did with it. And it turned out pretty good. So that's what it looks like. Give you guys a zoom in. Let's see if we can. The iridescence very, very subtle. That is that. So yeah. So that's kind of what's going on. In a couple weeks, I will work on getting some. I'll work on getting my station set up for doing water slides on Exia Dark Matter, and I will do some how-tos. I will do some other things with that. Show you guys. It's not really do's and don'ts, just what works for me. Showing you guys what's going to work for me when I do a project like that, and then you guys can take what looks helpful from what I do and use it in your own way. And that's kind of why I do the show. Just to help you guys out, give you guys ideas, things to do. If there's any of my tools that you guys see up here on my station that you know ever want me to review or talk about, don't hesitate. I will always, always check out a tool with you that I have, show you what I use it for. I've got a lot of tools, so from pin vices to chisels to all my different saw blades and all my different X-Acto type knives and stuff that I use for different things of that nature. So yeah, but it is 9:30. I have another show that I was hoping to get done tonight. I was going to do another podcast, a different podcast. It's been over a month since we've done a Friday night episode of the Late Night Load. So that's what I think I'm going to try and get set up here. So I'm going to go ahead and give one more shout out to our sponsor over at ClarksvilleHobbyDepot.com and use that discount code G_Syndicate10 to get 10% off of $25 or more purchase at our sponsor store, ClarksvilleHobbyDepot.com. They have RC cars, dioramas, Gunplas, 30-minute missions, 30-minute sisters, tanks, planes, automobiles, and no, not really automobiles, I'm joking. But they do have model cars, I'm sure. So head on over there and check out Clarksville Hobby Depot, and we will see you next week on Friday Night KitBash.
Friday Night KitBash. Friday night. Friday night KitBash. Friday night KitBash. Friday night.